This presentation is over the Student Affairs Department at the University of Findlay. So the University of Findlay was founded in 1882 through a joint partnership between the Churches of God, General Conference, and the City of Findlay. It is a private university and centered around three developmental axes. The university strives to provide support services to meet all student needs, foster active learning, and challenge students to explore their identity while being active and engaged in the community. The Student Affairs Department is organized into three branches: student success, student life, and civil rights. Findlay is considered a doctoral university, which in these universities, student affairs administrators specialize in a single function or area. So student success and academic support within the university at Findlay both of these serve as a crucial pillar to the Student Affairs Department. As a result of Findlay being a doctoral university, the departments work very closely with other professionals in the specific department, but may not know all other student affairs professionals throughout the campus. The University of Findlay's mission fits with the doctoral university's mission to influence student services. So student success services focuses on the students and their abilities to live up to their full potential. This includes academic support. With academic support, this service provides direct course guidance and academic planning to all students enrolled at the university. The Academic Support Center provides free services to all students to help them realize and achieve their full academic potential. These services may include tutoring, online tutoring. They have a writing center and a study strategy counseling within the university. The Office of Accessibility is also within the Student Success Department, and it provides accommodations and additional services to students with things such as ADD, ADHD, cognitive and health-related impairments, hearing impairments, and learning and physical disabilities. The University Center for Career and Professional Development is located within the Student Success Department and focuses on academic and individual advising. They help students choose majors that fit best with their interests, abilities, and life goals. The Euler Success Center is specific to the University of Findlay, and it is a resource for all students enrolled at the university, regardless if they are on campus or if they are online. These resources range from a basic study session in a free space in the common area to a more personal level with counseling sessions if needed. These services at the university strive for student excellence by creating a politically charged and often competitive campus environment for administrators to navigate. So budgeting within the Student Affairs Department, we have Student Affairs Division, which is led by its Vice President for Student Affairs and Athletics. This dual title reflects the university's integrated approach to student life and athletic engagement, ensuring alignment between general student experiences and student-athlete success. The Vice President also sits on the President's Cabinet, and they work alongside the Vice President of Academic Affairs and the Vice President for Business Affairs to maintain representation in institutional decisions. So budgeting and financing is determined through a centralized operational budget, and that is governed by the Vice President for Business Affairs in tandem with the Cabinet. Revenue is primarily generated from standard tuition, comprehensive student fees, housing, and residential contracts. and the dining revenues that are generated through campus vendors. The university then uses data-driven metrics to measure student retention and to set enrollment goals. The funds for these are allocated towards a high-impact infrastructure or directly into critical financial literacy and emergency relief programs. So collaboration between the Student Affairs Department, they act as a bridge connecting student-facing services to academic pathways. They can be seen campus-wide. They work with and collaborate with academic affairs to enforce the university-wide goal of providing experiential learning in every program of study. The Center for Career and Professional Development works hand in hand with academic deans to ensure internships and professional competencies align with classroom curricula. This collaboration alone is a prime example of the university's mission and vision. This results in a holistic wraparound intervention between all the departments of the campus, and it prevents students from falling behind. So in collaboration with student services, student affairs help to connect academic advising, international admissions, and accessibility to services to programmatic support structures. So the University of Findlay's SWOT analysis that I did for their student affairs department. So strengths. Findlay prides itself on the dual role of its vice president for student affairs and athletics and the purpose behind it. This dual role aids in promoting higher campus engagement by combining student life and athletics under one cabinet level. The physical blueprint for the Center for Student Life and College of Business creates a natural crossroads for daily peer-to-peer interaction and student engagement. The promotion of a proactive resource, such as the targeted crisis support, helps students gain access to emergent resources. This initiative helps to minimize student dropouts and overall retention rates. Weaknesses within the university's student affairs. Everyday living expenses that continue to increase have raised concern for students. The rising cost of living expenses strains students' personal budgets and creates a roadblock to campus engagement and student participation. A lack of centralized resource navigation has created a bottleneck effect, which has ultimately caused confusion and decreased student engagement campus-wide for online students and on-campus students. So opportunities that the university has. The expansion of specialized programs with vendors such as Sodexo, the university is capable of capitalizing on existing partnerships. This allows them to scale their food insecurity programs and pipeline their experiential learning. The university can also work with students to utilize personalized affordability planning calculators to help minimize financial strain and attract cost-conscious families early. The threats that may appear: the steady rise of tuition and degree costs over all higher education, universities, colleges, private, public, creates pressure for the students and their families. This can cause a decrease in the private university's retention as families struggle to balance loans while justifying the long-term degree investment. An increase in competition from other Midwest private universities has also caused an increased need for student affairs to consistently prove its retention value annually. Proposal for changes in the student affairs professional. Student affairs should think as theories as tools. So first theory, the psychosocial theories such as Chickering and Reiser focus on the developmental tasks throughout the lifespan and are organized in stage-like fashion. This also focuses on the identity of students in the different stages. This theory highlights how students manage emotions, move towards interdependence, and explore multifaceted personal identities. The University of Findlay can practice this theory as students enter their degree curriculum and progress towards degree completion using Chickering's 7 stages of identity development. Understanding the student's identity allows student affairs professionals to connect and engage with students. Using a psychosocial development theory, the university can launch an integrated identity and involvement milestone portfolio. This initiative formally bridges the student life and student success pillars by embedding identity, exploration, self-assessments directly into mandatory academic advising checkpoints. This will aid in embedding identity development while balancing autonomy and institutional support. Another theory is ecological and environmental, and such as Lewin and Brofenbrenner. Lewin introduced this person-environment model of understanding a person's behavior as influenced by their own individual characteristics and the environment in which they are present. So because the doctoral institution environment leads to highly specialized silos, administrators may not know all other student affairs professionals throughout campus. This structural detachment creates an organizational environment that unintentionally segments the student experience. Brofenbrenner then added to Lewin's model by adding the dimension of time and its impact on development. So the disconnect between student affairs professionals and students can result in a delay in development and a negative influence on the student experiencing it. So allowing for a redesign of the organizational environment by specialists from student success, student life, and civil rights into shared physical or digital workspaces can improve student engagement and understanding. Structurally changing the administrative ecosystem directly enhances a student's safety, inclusion, and engagement. So the impact of these changes, so when implementing such changes, strict legal boundaries must be thought about and carried out during it. So when modifying student affairs frameworks, such as creating cross-functional teams, integrating civil rights data into academic portfolios, or sharing student recordings, institutions must operate strictly within federal legal boundaries. So with the proposed changes and the enhancements to campus life, student engagement, and cross-functional involvement, there are multiple laws and regulations that need to be considered. So the first one, FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It must be implemented when launching the Integrated Identity and Involvement Milestone Portfolio. FERPA strictly regulates who has access to a student's educational records and requires legitimate need to know. So the university must build highly restricted digital firewalls. Administrators, such as student affairs professionals, must obtain explicit student consent and institutional clearance before publishing any student information. Another one, Title IX and the federal civil rights compliance. This is important when merging roles, much like the dual role of the Vice President of Student Affairs and Athletics. This can create legal friction regarding mandatory reporting. So under Title IX guidelines, specific or mandatory reporters who are required to formally log any reported discrimination or sexual misconduct. If student life professionals overlap too closely with civil rights investigations, it can compromise the confidentiality boundaries that survivors are legally guaranteed. Inclusion for students. So following McClellan and Kayama's emphasis on anti-oppressive framework and student inclusion, this is achieved when a student's environment adapts to sustain them rather than forcing them to adapt an administrative structure. To promote inclusion when implementing the Identity and Involvement Milestones portfolio, the university should form a student advisory board to design the interface and choose reflection prompts. This empowers the students and allows them to control what parts of their identity journey they share with others. Student inclusion is establishing confidentiality firewalls which will result in institutional trust and psychological safety. Students who create these dashboards can gain insight into which administrators can view their records and make a clearer decision to opt in or opt out of sharing details without any administrative bias going on. These are references all used within the presentation of this PowerPoint. Thank you.